Welcome to the Musky Shop, everybody. Jay here, and this video is going to be based on viewer comments. So we asked on the last video, you viewers, if you had any ideas for the next one to do, to leave them in the comments. So without further ado, let's roll this. Tacklesmith wanted to see a video based on the different blade types in bucktails and what they do, and in kind of a size comparison. Okay, here's a quick rundown on blade types. Here we see a couple common bucktails that are running French blades. French blades are generally small, like on the bottom lure here, the Musky killer. They've got low resistance in the water, and they run at a kind of a moderate depth. Next, we're sliding over to the willow-bladed bucktails. As you can see here, we've got a spinnerbait from Lungin and the Musky killer, both running those long type willow blades that generally the baits with willow blades have low resistance and they run deeper. Here's another common blade type. This is called a fluted blade. These type blades generally have a very hard thump to them. Okay, and Colorado blades, very common, very high riding, a lot of resistance and a lot of thump. These type bucktails quite often are used for the shallowest cover situations. And last but not least, we've got a bucktail from Musky Mayhem called the Double Cowgirl. These run big Mag 10 blades. These obviously have high resistance. They're shaped much like a Colorado blade, but of course are much bigger. Here's a small spinnerbait in comparison. And Brandon left a comment. He wanted to see a video on tackle storage ideas. For simplicity's sake, I am going to run a 7-inch bait here. This is a 7-inch slammer, and use this for a kind of a size relation on all these different tackle boxes. First one here is a Lakewood Musky Monster. It's the biggest musky storage they make. Flip that open. I'm trying to do this one-handed here. And put the bait in. Boom. As you can see, tons of room. Very deep storage. I think it's 15 inches. Lots of bags. You can stand on these. It's an extra boat seat, basically. Next in line, we've got the Musky Medium by Lakewood. Here's your slammer on top, 7-inch bait. Give you a little relevance there. Trays, these rows are removable and interchangeable, so you can configure the inside of this box any way you like. Ton of storage. And Flambeau's flagship musky storage box. It's been out for years. It's called the Maximizer. This is a really big box. It's frame size. It's about as big as a Lakewood Musky Monster. Let's put our bait on there. Obviously room for a ton of baits. This box is called the Lakewood Musky Upright. This is really about the same size as the Musky Medium. It's just narrower this way. This box is by Plano. It's called the 7915 Big Water Box. These have been out for, I don't know, more than 25 years. Let's put our slammer on top there. About the size of a Musky Medium, frame-wise. A lot of room in these. Here's another tackle box from Lakewood called the Large Spinnerbait. This has single rows. Really designed for the bent arm spinnerbait type lures, but here's our 7-inch bait. Give you an idea about how many you can get in there. Like all these Lakewoods, they come with a little tool that lets you dig down and grab anything that might have fallen down or in the bottom of the box. Like all Lakewoods, they float when fully loaded. These two boxes from Plano have been out for a long time. The 3700 and the 3701. Difference between being this does not have dividers, and the 3700 does, with removable inserts. You can store a lot of stuff in there. It's worm proof, it's airtight. I must have 50 of these things at home. It's crazy. Great stuff. Here's a new one from Plano. It's the 3700 series. I believe they're just calling it the 373. This has the Restrictor technology, help keep your baits from suffering any damage from being wet when they're put away. Also from Plano, this is new also, the Hydroflow series. These have kind of a drilled section for tons of ventilation. If you put anything damp in there, it's not going to be an issue closing the lid and putting it away. Next in line, Musky Jr. by Lakewood. The smallest of the Musky storage boxes that they make. Okay, also by Lakewood. This one is a little bit different type configuration. It's called the Pedestal Pal Senior. Drop that in. And what this does is it slips over your pedestal seat in your boat. Very neat idea, and it's very popular. Here's a large box from Flambeau. Obviously clear plastic. It's about 3-inch depth. Move that out of the way. It's got rust prevention technology, and it's great for soft plastics and leaders, stuff like that. And we've got one from JKB. He wanted to see a video on leader choices, snap types, leader materials, how they apply to lures. Leaders. There's a wide difference of opinion on leader types and leader lengths, but general rule of thumb, what you can do is run a leader at least as long as the lure you're using. That's a good starting point. And make sure it's heavy and has good components for the lure type you're using. There's really 3 main types of wire. Stiff wire or single strand wire, flexible wire or 7-strand wire, and fluorocarbon material. These are by far the 3 most popular leader type materials used in musky leaders. Let's take a look at the single strand. Stiff wire, usually thick, heavy, 174, 200 pound, 150 pounds, somewhere in that range usually. Lighter for the small baits like this stealth leader here, the spring leader. Get into the real heavy stuff, great for jerk baits, certain top waters, glide baits, anything side to side action, generally favorable for single strand wire leaders. Next we have flexible or commonly 7-strand wire material. This is good all-purpose, age-old type material. It's flexible, it's tough, and if you stick with 90 pound or higher and you catch pike on it, you catch a fish on it, in general, it's not going to kink the wire and damage it in any way. It's pretty durable stuff. Finally, we've got the most popular material used today, which is fluorocarbon material. It's basically a clear monofilament, but the fluorocarbon is really derived from the saltwater market. It's extremely tough and it's very invisible underwater, more so than hard mono. And this leader material, here's some popular brands here by Booker, Stealth Tackle, our stuff here. 130 pound is the most commonly sold. I'd say 100 pound would be the next most common all-purpose length. But generally start with 80 pound for your lighter baits. And for heavy stuff, even big plastics, some people go up to 150 and 180 pound. There's really only a handful of different types of snaps on the market. And in order to make this quick and painless, let's look at number 1 here. It's called a Roscoe style. Next we move into the cross lock. These have been around for ages and ages. It's a good all-purpose snap. This is a newer style snap. It's called the Stay Lock. These are very popular currently. And here's another kind of a newfangled invention called the Fast Hatch. This has kind of a twist and turn type of system to engage it. And finally, this is called the Touch Lock. We had another customer ask if we could get a size comparison going on spinner baits, soft plastics, and surface baits, especially tail baits. So here it is. Size comparison for spinner baits. On the left is Lungeon's Little Deuce. On the right is the Nutbuster Junior. And we've got a 6-inch slammer, minnow bait on top for size comparison. Trilogy spinner baits. On the left, the mini size, and on the right, the regular size. On the left is the Big Tooth straight wire spinner bait in the mini size, and on the right is the Windell's Musky Harasser Tandem Spin. Here's a couple popular ones. These are from Figure 8 Lure Company, the Mini Boss, and the Big Boss. On the left, Ghost Tail spinnerbait, and on the right, Musky Mayhem spinnerbait. From Slither Tackle, on the left, the Musky Mamba, which is a smaller frame, and on the right, the Viper Standard. Here's some spinnerbaits from Ace Baits. They come in 3 sizes, the Mini, Regular, and Mag. Here's 3 new ones. On the left, the new Bit Tackle Boilermaker spinnerbait. In the center is the mini version of the new Lee Lures spinnerbait, and on the right side is Lee Lures regular size spinnerbait. And finally, with the 6-inch slammer on top for reference, on the right side we've got Musky Safari's spinnerbait, and the center is Little Hot One from Grim Reaper, and the Hot One on the left side. Here's a size comparison for you folks out there in some rubber baits, aka soft plastic. On top we've got another 6-inch slammer in Schwartzy's Red Dragon color. Now we've got cast tackle line up here, starting with a mini size, mid, regular, and all the way up to a husky size. They also make a monster size, but as you can see, I kind of ran out of room on the counter here. But hey, if someone's talking, I'm throwing a Mag Dog or a Medusa, they're talking about like an 8-ounce bait. That's the size they're talking about. So you can kind of see size-wise about how big it is. Okay, size reference on surface baits. On top here we have a 6-inch slammer, and in the center, Bucher's famous Top Raider and a Super Top Raider on the bottom. And just a few more surface baits for you. On top, once again, that's a 6-inch slammer minnow bait going into the Chaos Tackle Big Mama Twisted Sister, Smitty's Top Kick, and the Gooch's Tallywhacker. From Lake X Lures, we've got in the middle the Little B, and on the bottom, the Cannonball Junior. River to Sea brings us the Whopper Plopper tailbait. In the center is the 130 size, and on the bottom, the 190, the biggest one they make. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it, and thanks for your comments on the last video. Keep them coming. Let us know how your fishing's going too. Memorial Day is just a few days away, and that means the opening of the Wisconsin season up here in the Northwoods, the northern section of Wisconsin. So once again, thanks for your business, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.